Hey guys, my name's Chris. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. And today I'm gonna go over the top 5 things you need to ask before getting backyard chickens. Number 1, check your local laws and regulations and make sure you're allowed to have chickens. Most places you can. Some places they just don't want you to have a rooster. I personally have a rooster because I live a couple thousand feet outside of the city limits. If you're in HOA, sometimes they let you, sometimes they don't. I recommend not living in an HOA, but if you do, make sure you check and make sure you can have backyard chickens. Number 2 is space. Now, if you just have a little bit of space in your backyard, you can get away with having 5 or 6 chickens in a little 4x8 area like this with a coop attached to the run. However, if you're doing that, I recommend getting wheels on the run/coop. That way you're able to move it back and forth because the area will get muddy and it can start to smell. And you can throw wood chips in there and throw down some hay and try to cover up that smell. But ideally, if you're able to move that little run back and forth to a couple different areas in your yard, that'll help prevent that. And the chickens will enjoy it because they'll be able to forage and it'll almost be simulating a free range scenario. Contrary to popular belief, chickens actually love to be in the woods, digging through the leaves and into the bushes to find different bugs and eat different things. They do not want to free range on open grass and just eat grass. They are not cows. They're omnivores and they love to dig through the dirt, dig through the leaves, dig through the mulch. So if you have a backyard that has woods and you think that you can't have chickens because there's just trees all around, that's actually ideal. The chickens will love that space even better and they'll enjoy it even more than being out on the open grass. If you do have a lot of space and you're able to kind of play with that and manipulate that space, you can do similar to how I did here, where I have one enclosed area where I keep them in there when I want them to be more contained, but then I have a gate to a bigger fenced in area where I can let them come out and free range all around. But their favorite spot is obviously back there in the corner under the bushes, digging through the dirt and the leaves. Now, number 3 is cost. It can cost very little or quite a bit, depending on how you want to do it. What I did is I moved into this house and I had this little shed here that was already on the property, so I converted it into a chicken coop. A friend of mine moved and was getting rid of his coop, so I took it apart and put it back together and attached it to this one when I wanted more chickens. So overall cost of that, I might have bought some screws. So very cheap. You can go on Facebook Marketplace and get used coops. You can get pallets like I have over there, where I'm going to try to build a duck house. And you can build a chicken coop out of pallets if you're handy. If you're not handy, you can have somebody else build it for you or find one that's already built but used. Sometimes they're on Facebook Market or Craigslist. So that's kind of going the cheap way. As far as feed goes, you can go to the big stores like Tractor Supply or local feed store and get feed, or you can get it locally. Personally, I get it locally from a neighbor who gets it from a farm about an hour north of here, and it's only about $15 a bag. And for my 10 chickens, it lasts 3 to 4 weeks. I usually supplement with some food scraps too, and that'll save on your cost. The more they free range and the more food scraps you give them, the less feed you have to give them. So that'll help keep costs low. The chickens themselves, usually they're about $2 to $3 a chick if you get them as chicks, and they can go from $15 to $30 if you get them already laying. So 6 months of age or more. As far as other supplies you might need when you're starting out, you might have some feeders that you would need, watering situation, not too much money, maybe between $10, $20, $30 for a couple of those to make sure they have water and food. What I did is I actually took an old pool filter and converted it, put a PVC pipe on there. You can do similar if you are handy, and I just put a valve on the bottom. I can make a separate video about that. It's not currently hooked up because my valve actually cracked over the winter, so I have to get a new valve on the bottom. But I could fill this up maybe once every 2 months, and then not have to give the chickens water, which is nice to not have to come out every day and fill up the water. You can take it a step further, which I plan to do, and put a gutter on there to collect the rainwater to go straight into there, and then you never have to fill up the water, which is even better. I also have these for the feed, so if we're away for a week or two, you fill the feed up with these candy cane feeders, which I made from PVC pipe from Home Depot. Pretty easy to make, fairly cheap, and that way chickens have feed. You just gotta keep it out of the rain. And if you have a system like that and the watering system, then you rarely have to come out and feed and give the chickens water. Now, number 4 kind of ties into number 3, and that's time commitment. How much time do you have to give to your chickens and tend to them? And honestly, yes, I know, rooster. It can vary. If you just want to have chickens just to get some eggs, you don't really have to spend much time out with the chickens, as long as you have a good feeding system where they have food, and you have a good watering system where you don't have to fill up the water every day, and you just come out and collect the eggs, check on your chickens and make sure they're doing good. And it's actually pretty simple, a lot easier than even owning a dog or a cat as far as that goes. Or if you enjoy being with your chickens, then you can come out every day, fill up the water, give them food, watch them, give them some snacks, spend time with them. It's really up to you. But as far as time commitment, it could really be as easy as coming out once a week, checking on the food and water, collecting eggs every day. And it could be as simple as that. Number 5 is predator protection. Now, I'm speaking from experience here because I have lost at least 4 different flocks of chickens to hawks, foxes, raccoons, my dog even, and probably some other predators that I'm not even sure of. So having good predator protection is very important. Making sure the coop is closed at night is probably the number 1 factor, because most of the predators will be at night. During the day, you could have them more enclosed to have if there's hawks flying around, or have a rooster like this one that will help protect the hens and alert them if there's a predator around or if there's a hawk, and it'll even fight off some different predators if you have a strong rooster. But I have a little section here where they can run to, and I've also put this tarp up with this fishing line. I don't know if you can see, and that helps deter the hawks so that they don't swoop down. I also have my little guard owl here. But main thing, make sure you have the coop closed at night. You could even get an automatic door like this chicken guard here that will just open and close on its own. You can set the timer. I do not recommend this is a knockoff brand. Maybe if you get the good brand of Chicken Run, it might be good, but this was a cheaper brand and it broke almost immediately. So if you see a cheap one from China like this, that just an automatic chicken door, do not get it. It broke immediately. Something a little bit more expensive like that would be better as far as an automatic door, or you could just come out on your own, open the door, let them out, close it at night. That's the main thing to keep your chickens safe. Make sure if they have a run that it is fenced in and enclosed so that roaming dogs in the neighborhood or any other day predators can't just snatch up your chicken, and also to keep your chickens from wandering too far, but they usually don't go too far. Here is a bonus tip. If you have a slope on your property, I recommend putting your chickens uphill from anything that you would want to plant. So as you can see here, I got my chicken run, and basically the chicken manure from them going to the bathroom and digging around the dirt, every time it rains, it gets washed down this hill and basically naturally fertilizes this entire area. So everything's vibrant, super green, the same kind of lawn that everybody would try to get, dumping hundreds of dollars worth of products on their lawn. just happens naturally from the chicken manure just getting washed down the hill. This is a fig tree that's just doing absolutely amazing, and you can tell all the grass around this entire area, everything growing in this area is just vibrant and healthy. So I recommend putting it uphill and planting a garden or anything that you want to do well downhill. Hope that helps. I'll be posting more in-depth videos talking about the coop, the watering system, and a couple other things that just go a little bit more into detail. I just wanted to make a quick video to give you that rundown of those 5 things that you want to ask before getting chickens.